Hello and welcome to the Sound Lab podcast interviews, unedited. On today's show, interviews from Chesney Hawkes, VUKOVI, PHWOAR Kenzie Vois, and we throw back to 2000 Trees Festival in 2017 to chat to Gus from Young Guns. So let's crack on, shall we, and play our first interview from Chesney Hawkes, who's just gone into the Big Brother house in the UK, but he's also released a brand new record. Chesney Hawkes, how are you?
I'm good. I've just been poured a nice beer, so I'm a happy man.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, it's just gone 5 p.m. here, so you're allowed. You're absolutely allowed.
It is beer o'clock officially.
It is
one past beer o'clock.
No, so well, I guess the beer is somewhat in celebration of a new album that's on the way this week, but we'll talk about that in a sec because I want to talk about your latest single, Loud. Tell us a bit about the single.
Yes, so Loud is a song that I wrote some years back with a young artist that had just lost his brother, and so it's very much in his mind at that point, and it's about loss. It's about finding ways to still have that connection with those that we've lost, and by some weird universe throwing things at you and coincidental timings and all that kind of stuff, I just lost my best friend literally recently. And so I'm out here promoting this record about loss when I've got Vic in my mind, in a very, very raw grief state. And so it's obviously very, very close to my heart, this song, and it seems to have resonated quite strongly with everyone. I've had so many messages from people telling me their stories. I just lost my brother and my mom. It reminds me of my dad and blah blah. It's just been quite overwhelming and beautiful, actually. It's one of the things that we all have in common, living this life, is that we're all going to go through this kind of grief. We're all going to lose people. So, it's a weird time. It's a really weird time, Jim.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry to hear about your friend as well, but you have got an album out this week, Living Arrows. What can we expect to hear on the record?
Well, I mean, I can't believe it's coming out on Friday. It's wild. So very, very exciting. It's a long time coming for me. It's been 12 years since my last album. And this record is actually probably 5 years in the making. It's a collection of songs that are, some of them are kind of, kick the doors down, banger pop songs that you would expect from me. The first two singles being that, very kind of anthemic and very I guess it's all about self-empowerment, things like that. But then I've also I've got very cathartic on this album, Jim. I use my songwriting as therapy and kind of gone back and looked at some of the things that have happened in my life and like kind of had a real look at them and written songs about them. And it's kind of a way of moving on and keeping in check with my mental health. And there are some subjects on this record that are very well, they're difficult subject. Let me shut the door here, Jim. I've got my kids all shouting. Hang on. One second. I keep telling them all day. I've been doing radio interviews and podcasts and stuff like that. I'm on the radio. So anyway, so it's I think people will be surprised by some of the topics on this album.
Yeah, nice. And as mentioned, it's been 12 years, as you say, since your last record. You said this one was about 5 years in the making, but why has it in total taken this long?
Well, a lot of it was I wanted to be back in the UK. I was living in America for the last 12 years. And I don't know, I felt like I needed to be here. Well, I did. If I'm going to promote this properly, I have to be here in the UK. I have to be, able to go up and down the country and to the gigs and promotions and in stores and all that kind of stuff. So I wanted to be back here. That's the main reason, really. And, COVID got in the way. I probably would have put this out before COVID but it would have been a different album, to be honest, Jim, because I've written other songs and realized that I want to put certain stuff on and I've remixed things. It's been a work in progress for a while now.
Yeah, and I mean, you started releasing music in the early 90s now. How does it feel that you've been releasing music for such a long period of time now?
Old. No, I mean, if you'd have said to me 34 years ago, you're going to be talking to me about the one and only and new music, I would have been like, really? This long ago? I thought I'd have retired by then. You know, it
You'd have
just
hoped
seems
to
like,
have retired by then.
yeah, no, but you know what? That's never happening ever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think musicians don't retire. To be honest with you, it's like I can't not play. I mean, I can see
Yeah.
you've got a guitar behind you. I'm sure you're a
Yeah.
muso as well. You can't not do it, can you?
No.
I still have the same passion for it. I still, you know, I can't pass a guitar without picking it up, or you know, if I see a piano, I have to play a chord of the day at least. So yeah, it's just something that's always there. And I think that, you know, yes, if you'd have said to my 19-year-old self, you're still going to be making music in the 50s, I'm like, yeah, of course, of course.
Yeah, no, definitely. And as you've been around for so long, how have you and how has the music evolved since you started writing and releasing through until now?
I mean, you know, I've lived a life since I first put out a record.
Yeah.
So, you know, I have life experiences now, and I, you know, I can write about different things. The industry has changed quite a lot. I mean, obviously, when I first put records out, the internet didn't even exist. So I know that makes me sound old, but it's true, you know. So these days, you release music on the internet. You know, it's
Hmm.
you know, physical sales are very different to what they were before. But I quite like social media. I quite like you know, being able to contact your fans like directly, and it's kind of more in your hands. You know,
Hmm.
I like having fun with it. You know, you can be self-effacing and use humor, and you can express yourself, I think, a lot more nowadays, you know, because there's so many different platforms to have fun with.
Mm. Yeah, no, absolutely. And you've been playing these new tracks live for the last week or so, and you've got some more dates still to come. How's the show's been so far?
I've been brilliant. I started off with a arena tour of Europe with James
Hmm.
Blunt. That was so fun.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like for us, it was, I mean, it was an amazing tour because it was all big arenas and everything else. But for us, it was kind of like a way to get the band into check, you know what I mean? And we
Mm.
playing all the new songs, and the fans were amazing, so supportive of me, which was brilliant. And now being, you know, here and playing in different kind of smaller venues on my headline tour, and hearing the new songs being sung back to me is just so rewarding, and I'm so grateful that people are coming. We're selling out everywhere we go. It's just been it's been amazing. It really has. I can't. I honestly, I can't say enough how much fun we're having on the road. I got my son on the road with me. He's my guitar player. My
Hmm.
brother on the drums. So yeah, it's a family affair.
Yeah, I think I saw the band that you're with when you ended up on Michael McIntyre's show.
That was it. That's the band I'm out
Yeah.
with now, exactly, including my boy.
And speaking of being on TV, there is a rumor that you might be on Big Brother next week.
Oh, really? Where'd you get that from?
Oh, it's all over the news. You've signed up and everything.
Have I? Blimey. Well, it's news to me.
Well, you can tell me for sure or not after we finish this interview.
Can't even do that, mate.
And I hope you enjoyed the interview there with Chesney Hawkes. Now, we are all over social media, so come and find us at The Sounder Lab, yes, on all the socials. And you can also check out the website, thesounderlabuk.co.uk. Now, while you go and follow us on all those socials, you can take a listen to our next interview from VUKOVI, who released a brand new record earlier this year. So, Janine, from VUKOVI, how are you?
I'm good. I'm just having a wee coffee on a Wednesday morning.
Yeah, it's nice. It's still dull outside, but apart from that, it's not
It's
too
a
bad.
bit shite. It's dead very. I'm in Glasgow and it's very grey.
Yeah, same down here. Same down here as well. So, well, we have good news, which is good. That you've released a brand new record called "My God Has Got a Gun." Tell us a bit about the record.
God, I don't even know where to start. It's our first album on Sharptone Records. We were previously with Lab and self-released before, and we did the record in Texas, Austin, Texas, somewhere we'd never been before, with a producer that we'd never worked with before. So that was a big leap of faith there. We really wanted to get out of our comfort zone and mix things up a bit. And yeah, this is the result of that experience.
Yeah, yeah, nice. Is the sound of the record the sound that you wanted to make, or is it just simply how it turned out?
It's it's better than I thought. We didn't want to write another Nuala. We always like to rebrand after every album and experiment with, or write music that has evolved with us as people. We're constantly learning in this game, and yeah, I think going out and we just wanted to shake it up, and we wanted a very, I think in terms of the instrumentation, very real organic sound, like how we sound live, and it was a different process, but I'm so proud of it, and yeah, I think when we got back from America, we did a tour at the same time, which was pretty exhausting, but
Yeah.
it was one of the best experiences of my life. It really was. So I'm really proud of us for that. Like, we could have really fucked it, but we worked really hard on it, and Machine was incredible. Yeah, he's a total legend, that guy.
Nice. Yeah.
And I think like he really understood the sort of concept and what we were going for, and but also not trying to lose who we are. He was very meticulous on not losing that identity, sonically as well. But yeah, it was some experience. I just can't believe like this album's out. Like, I think the whole process, running up to it, like our lives were pretty mad running up to it as well. Like, things took a big change for us, career wise. So it's like, just, I don't know, I think sometimes you're like really chasing your tail, and if you take too much time to really think about what's going on, like I just spiral a wee bit. But I think that's a typical Scottish pessimist attitude there.
Yeah.
Like everyone's going to go wrong and you don't deserve it. But yeah, I'm really happy about it. That was a long answer for a really short question. Sorry.
Yeah, you kind of answered every single one of my questions in this one. No, you didn't. I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm sure you wrote more than what made it onto this record. What happens to those now? Are you going to consider them again next time round, or are they going to just be binned off and you'll start again?
I quite like revisiting things after some time to listen to, but I think straight away you're like, aye, this, or you'll be like, let's change the chorus on that, or let's change up the verses, or we could make this cooler. But definitely, I get so attached to songs, especially ones that are mostly finished. So I do have like a sense of a pine for them. They don't get their day, but you kind of know when you go back, like when you take a break from writing, and then you go back to stuff that didn't make the album, or demos that we did for the album. You sort of know straight away if they're like, you could be like, actually they're quite shite, or aye, that's amazing. Let's work on this.
Yeah, nice. I like to talk about the writing side of things as well. So for you, how do tracks normally start off?
It does vary. Varies. This album, it's a mixture. Like, usually I'll come up with a song, like write a song on Logic, like a top line. I'll try and get a structure going, and I usually just put like a really basic bass line down. I don't try not to like saturate it with loads of bits. I just want it to be like the core, and that's the top line in the structure. And then I'll usually send that to Hamish, and then he'll work on it as well. So like with guitars, synths, bass, like program drums for demo sake, and then you just sort of see it come to life. Or he'll send me like a track, like a Logic track with a guitar idea. We're usually quite good at structuring things. So we have sort of mostly fully developed ideas where we're not just sending a chorus or a wee bit of a song, like, and yeah, so he'll send me an idea and then I'll work on it on my Logic, and then we just sort of take it from there. This time round, we did spend a lot of time in my kitchen. I've got like a table in my kitchen. We wrote a lot of the album at the kitchen table, which was great. And yeah, it does vary. Like we don't have it's only two of us. And on this album, Martin did a lot of nice like drum bits that was purely from his style, and we wanted to get that on this album because he is a mental drummer and very, very talented.
You're going to introduce him as the full-time third member yet?
I mean, to be honest, he is basically part of VUKOVI. It's just, I think, in terms of a business, we want like to keep it small. But yeah, he is irreplaceable. Some guy.
Good. Hopefully he hears that.
I will see. I'm on.
Now, people will get the chance to hear you playing some tracks of these live because you're heading out on tour in, it's about a week's time now. I bet you can't wait.
Yeah, I actually can. I'm actually quite excited. I've started getting organised and we're rehearsing all week, running up to it, and yeah, it's that like period of waiting because you know it's going to be intense and full on, but yeah, it's it's touring's mad. Like I do try and remind myself how lucky I am that I get to do this and live my best life. But and I'm really appreciative of it. And I just can't wait to see fans and people come at the shows, and especially the kind of new tracks, like the new tracks in the album. We're not playing the whole album. Like we're picked some of our favourites off it for this tour. But yeah, I just can't wait to see that sort of fan energy and feel that, because I feel like that's when you know how the music has affected people. When you're in the same room as them and you're playing it and you feel it, it's so indescribable, that feeling.
Yeah, I can well imagine, and that's going to take you across Europe and some dates back here in the UK as well. We're then into festival season. I see you've got a few announced already. Are you hoping to add some more to those as well?
Yeah, we've got a few unannounced ones still to announce, and mostly Europe, and I think one or two in the UK, another one or two in the UK. Nice. Yeah, so I can't wait.
And what's the end of this year going to hold for you? Is it going to be touring plans, or do you think it might be writing plans again?
Do you know what? Like we were wanting to do like another like a smaller B-town run, but there is chat that we might be going back to America now. So yeah, we'll see. I think it's good to always be writing. Mm-hmm. I don't like to sit not writing for too long. But yeah, it's we get that asked that quite a lot. Like what's next or what's the plan and what's happening. But I think right now we're trying to just live in the moment, not think too far ahead and enjoy the now. But yeah, there's some bits floating about.
Nice.
At the end of the year.
Yeah, nice. Are you hoping to go anywhere else as well? You've touched on the States, but is there anywhere else you've not been to yet that you want to get to at some point?
I'd actually love to go to Australia. We were meant to go last year, but it would have been straight off the back of America, and I'm sure it would have been, or was it before? I think it might have been before America. It was just working out like we would not have enough time.
Yeah,
and it's a big cost to go somewhere like that. I think Australia, Japan, South America. Everywhere. Like I think I love traveling. I love seeing the world. I love meeting different cultures. Especially when you're bonding over your music that you've made. It really does prove how universal music is. When you go to all these other countries and people can feel it. People are connected to it.
And I hope you enjoyed the interview there with VUKOVI. Now, here on Spotify, we also have a very own playlist. It's called Fresh, where we bring you 150 brand new, up-and-coming unsigned artists that we think you will love and enjoy, so you might just find your new favourite artist on our Fresh playlist. Link to that on our website, thesoundlabuk.co.uk. Now, while you go and find that and give that one a save, we're going to play you our next interview from PHWOAR. They've been releasing new music, and they've got new music on the way as well. So here we go. PHWOAR, how are you?
Very well, thank you. How about you?
Yeah, not too bad. Thanks so much. So we will be playing a new single of yours called Surge after this interview. Tell us a bit about the single.
Yeah, Surge. I guess it's one of our more political ones. We try and do everything with a little bit of tongue in cheek. Like, we don't want to get too hysterical about life. We want to try and find the rays of sunlight behind the copious clouds. But Surge is really about like looking at the changes in our society and where it feels like it's going sometimes, and almost trying to do something about that, I suppose.
Yeah, it's about power. Ultimately, make of that what you will. But the song itself is like a really upbeat. We wanted it to be kind of dancey. Like the drums are kind of a disco kind of groove.
Yeah.
And there's lots of really, really nice kind of guitar instrumentals in there as well that almost feel quite joyful, which I think is what we were after.
But chaotic.
Yeah.
Joyful and chaotic.
Joyful but chaotic actually is like what we're going for most of the time. So.
Some of it.
That's how we cover up any flaws in our music writing.
Covers all bases as well then.
Yeah.
And that is off your new EP, which is coming out in April on the 11th.
That's right.
What can we expect to hear on the release?
We've got 5 songs.
Mm-hmm.
They're we would like to think the kind of the full color swatch of PHWOAR. So like going from the kind of more energetic, chaotic Surge, which you'll hear a little bit later, to the slightly more introspective, waiting for the sun.
Yeah. A bit waltzier. The theme of the EP is, the EP is called Flowers Through the Concrete, which is the final track on it. And we think that's just a nice visual for what the EP is all about. It's about kind of pushing through things that feel like you'll never get through, but we know that like nature has a way of always pushing up through even the most toughest of circumstances, and humans have that exact same resolution.
Yeah, and trying to, again, like that kind of something joyful, something positive in a world that can be quite dreary and negative at times. And I think that all of the songs speak to that in some way or another.
Yeah, nice. And the sound that you've made with this EP, was it the sound you wanted, or is it simply just how it turned out when you were in the studio?
Every time I open my mouth, I feel like a sound comes out that I'm like, oh, that sounds weird. So, but that's the creative process, isn't it? It's like you have an idea in your head, and then you do a bunch of things, and it comes out totally different. And you're like, well, that was interesting. What can we do with that?
Yeah, and we worked with a really great producer, a guy called Adrian Hall, who really helped kind of shape what the sounds should be. You know, he's a sound nerd. You're a massive sound nerd. The amount of guitar pedals that you churned through, even just experimenting.
Oh yeah, we wasted a day of recording just working through. He had these like 3 huge tubs of guitar pedals, so that definitely sidetracked us.
Yeah, I would say the sound is it's what it needs to be. Whether it, I don't know, I don't think it's what I thought it would be, like coming out of it, but it's exactly right. Like I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, and like we tried to make sure that we recorded, we demoed everything in dribs and drabs, like in the kind of weeks before we went into the studio, and everything kind of sounded a little bit disparate. But we made sure that we recorded, like we tried to record everything within a day, so everything had this like energy as well. Like each song had its own, like this is how we were feeling today. Because that really, I mean, it's subtle, and we'll not, most people probably wouldn't go, oh, I can tell that they were feeling like they had too much coffee that day or something like that. But like, you know, it's definitely like has this subtle cohesive effect with every single song. And so yeah, that was kind of nice.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I can well imagine. And I'd like to talk about the writing side of things as well. So for you guys, how do tracks normally start off?
We don't have a normal.
No, we don't, do we? I
No.
mean, quite often we'll be just jamming. I'll come up with something on the drums, or Paul will come up with something on the guitar. Would you agree that lyrics and melody usually comes last? Like with
Yes.
music comes first. So we have like a vibe or a feeling, whatever we're feeling that day, that tends to come out in the music. And then we scramble for ages trying to think, how do we put
Yeah.
a melody and lyrics
Surge is
on
a
top
great
of
example of
this?
that.
Yeah,
Surge has like had 5 different lives.
it has. Yeah,
It's kind of like, I don't want to use the butterfly metaphor because that would suggest that it's beautiful, and I'm not so sure that that would be right. But like, it definitely has this like, it's had these like larval stages where we've kind of gone, I don't know about this song, you know,
quite right.
not quite
We
right.
nearly chucked it so many times.
Yeah. And then we just like, I don't know, once you kind of came out with this like disco-y beat, and we were like, oh, this is really interesting. And so that one really like was a case of like going back to the drawing board, starting again, redefining it. Whereas some songs, I guess like Reckless, which was the single that we've just released, that one was just like, okay, let's sit down. Like I came up with a guitar riff separately. We sat down with it, and we had the song written in like a week. So sometimes it's like really easy, and sometimes it takes like 3 years.
Yeah, genuinely 3 years. I was really shocked that we managed to resurrect it.
Yeah,
Honestly, but really glad, because I think it's one of my favorites.
that's
Not supposed to have favorites, but I think that's one of my
you're not allowed
favorites.
to have
But
favorites.
you know, we even like the day we recorded that, we were having breakfast, and we finished the lyrics that morning.
Oh yeah, over breakfast.
Yeah, the song's been like 3 years in the making, but I think nothing like a bit of fire up your bum to be like,
What will you eat for breakfast?
that's another story for another
See, Jim,
time.
that's the secret to finishing a song is you just have to choose the right curry for breakfast, and that's how you get it done.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And talking of the lyrics as well, how easy do you find it to create the lyrics to the music that you've created?
Oh, it's like it's so much easier once you've done the music. Because it's leading you in a direction. You're like,
Yeah.
okay, I know. Like straight away, there'll be something that comes in my head, like I think I know what I want to write about. Yeah. Yeah, like Surge was a totally again, just to kind of use that as the kind of guidepost, like it was a love song originally. It was about being on a first date and knowing that it's kind of crazy. Totally different now to like what it means. But because we kept rewriting it, like everything had to change. Because the old lyrics just didn't make sense. So yeah, I guess like once we were happy with like the soundscape of it, then we let that kind of dictate the mood, the feeling of the song, and that's the lyrics kind of certainly the theme of it.
The theme of it,
follows.
yeah. I always feel, I mean, again, let me know if you disagree, but I always feel like the first kind of verse or the first chorus of the lyrics usually comes really quickly.
Yeah.
And then it's a little bit of a struggle to try and continue the dialogue and match it for like, and then like grow that narrative, whatever it is. And that takes a little bit more thinking, because I feel like it's really easy to come up with like an idea and some initial words around it. But then to tell the story takes a lot more thinking.
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever really, well, apart from for some of our more stupid songs, I don't think we've ever really written lyrics quickly. It takes a long time.
Yeah. I'll like go off and like write a bunch of poetry for ages and just try and like trigger a subconscious part of my brain. And then, you know, like again, it's that same thing of like we really tried with this EP to fit the lyrics to the mood of the song very closely. So it's like they're both are working in tandem to that same purpose. And then I'll bring them to Helena while she's having a breakfast curry, and like she'll challenge everything. She'll challenge everything, and then kind of stuff gets changed, stuff gets switched out, you know. Yeah, like in Reckless, we had this line like, don't care about your follows, don't care about your memes. And Helena was like, I love memes. Like, and I was like,
authentic.
yeah, I do too, actually. So then we changed it to like, don't care about your follows, I kind of like your memes. And it just like made a little bit more sense. Like,
It made me smile.
but it was also like then it just the song changed entirely on that because it was kind of almost like a diss track, and it became a more of a like nuanced song. The whole thing. Then I started kind of finding the nuance in the position we were taking, which was that Reckless is kind of about having a bit of an overload with social media or the internet in particular, and wanting to kind of have a life lived with, you know, real tangible human beings. Yeah, and so it just kind of made sense of like, well, yeah, of course we're all complicit. Like I use the internet. Like I can't just be like, I hate it.
Exactly.
It's actually like it's part of me.
We enjoy it.
Yeah, the memes.
We're talking to you over the internet right now.
Yeah.
Jim.
And all the people that are listening and
Yeah.
watching, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad it's over the internet. Otherwise, I'd be getting a little bit worried as how this was taking place right now.
Yeah.
And as the two of you like to share vocal duties, how do you kind of split them up when you've got the song? How do you know who's going to do what bit?
That's a good question.
I don't think we do. I think we mix it up.
Yeah.
It takes a while for it to feel right. I mean, there's sometimes not on this EP, but there's sometimes where we finish a song and it makes sense that I sing it. But usually Paul takes lead just because I'm on the drums and it's really hard to play drums well and sing well at the same time. So, but they're different parts. We're still experimenting with how we kind of mix vocals on the same track.
It's trial and error with everything, I think.
I don't think we've quite nailed it, but we're getting there.
Oh, yeah, no, it's good. It's fun to play around, and like, for example, like you know, depending on who's singing what, like it can reshape how you perceive the lyrics as well. So it's really interesting.
It's true, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good point.
Nice. Yeah, it's a tricky one. Like we really wanted to play more with it this one, and I think we're trying to kind of find that space where we're a little bit more equally balanced, because it's definitely much more in my kind of favor at the moment with the vocal work. And
I'm fine with that.
You're fine with that, and I'm slowly trying to kind of like just subtly encourage, like, come on, just take that line, go on.
You'll get there, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And people want to see you doing some live shows. You've got a couple of things in the diary, but not too much yet. What's your plan this year?
Yeah, so we've got a couple of things that kind of came to us very luckily, like Croco Land, especially in April.
That will have just happened.
Which will have done, yeah.
But we have another festival in Shrewsbury, Loopfest, in May. But yeah, that's all we've got booked in right now. But we do want to perform these songs live.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think that definitely, I don't know if it necessarily would be like a full-blown tour, but definitely a few dates across the country, probably in the autumn now.
Which is when we'll hopefully have another new release to come along with it as well. But right now, it's as a duo, and we both have, unfortunately, pretty demanding day jobs as well. To try and make everything balance out is a bit tricky, and so that we kind of took the decision not to tour this immediately, because then we would be overloaded really with the need to try and make a really good show and work a way of putting all these songs into an actual live performance, and then actually like doing this side of things, which is arguably more fun. Just chatting about what we've already done rather than thinking, how do we do this new thing that we have to do? Yeah.
Read into all of that as you will.
And I hope you enjoyed the interview there with PHWOAR. Oh yes, hopefully you liked that. Now, if you're liking these interviews, then you can also listen to these interviews on our very own international radio show. This international radio show goes on for 2 hours. It goes across the world on a radio station near you. You can also listen to it online as well. We play these interviews alongside a load of new music, live sessions, and a load more great stuff and fun too. So you can find that on our website, thesoundlabuk.co.uk. Now again, while you go and find that and save it for later, lots for you to do later, we're going to play you our final new interview. It comes from Kenzie Vois, who's been releasing some new music. So Kenzie, how are you?
Doing good. I'm doing great.
Good, great to hear. So we've been playing a new single of yours called On My Way. Tell us a bit about the single.
Yeah, man, it's probably my favorite track I put out, actually. I mean, it's only just recently come out, and it feels very like me, you know, like I think the last two are very universal, but this one feels like very personal and very not even like lyrics, just like the production. So everything that I've sort of put into it is like something I just love. Like I love trumpets. I love like funny concepts. So yeah, it just felt like exactly like what I wanted to do. So yeah, excited.
Yeah, nice. And you've released a few singles now. Are we gearing up towards a bigger body of work, or is it just sticking with singles for now?
I mean, I don't even know if I'm allowed to say, but I mean, yeah, there's a project incoming. I won't explain. I mean, I guess it's the four. It's the big four. But yeah, no, there's another song coming up, and I'm very excited about that one. And yeah, it's gonna be a nice little introductory body of work, I suppose.
Yeah, nice. And with the few singles out there now, do you feel like you know what sound you're going for, or is there still plenty of things for you to try and see what works?
See, behind the scenes, there's about 100 other songs, and I've been finding the sound for like 4 years, and I just picked the best of the best to put out. And when I chose them, it was like a year ago, so I've advanced since then,
Mm-hmm.
and found my sound even more. But yeah, no, I have definitely found my sound. And I think this one and the next one and the next one and the next one will I'll stop, I'll stay consistent. But I do think the four that are coming out, well, the three that have been out previously are quite consistent, and I just hope to stay on track, I suppose.
Yeah, sure. And with all those tracks that you've written, how many of those do you think will end up seeing the light of day, and how many of those do you think will never be used, or will kind of elements of be used in the future?
Oh man, I hope all of them. I hope all of them, because thing is, it's also like production as well. Like they're all demos. They're all finished products. And what I plan on doing is if I'm not releasing stuff, I'm gonna send it out to fans on my mailing list. Just because I think it's better than them just sitting in like the vault. So people who want to hear them, I guess DM me and I can send them over.
Yeah, I'm sure. And I like to talk about the writing side of things as well. So for you, how do tracks normally start off?
Well, in this room, I mean, this is where the magic happens. This is the room that I produce and write and record everything. And yeah, I think I used to start obviously on guitar and write the song, but I guess like I sort of got really into production when I was, I think, like 14. Um, and since then, I think I make the beat and then I try melodies, and then however the beat feels, I think that's where the lyrical side of things comes into it. Because yeah, it's just more. I start with the beat, and it's not because that's like the main focus. It's just because that's what gives me that generates the feeling or the vibe, and then from there, I think yeah, melodies secondary, and then lyrics is like to the finalizing, I suppose. And the recording process, and because usually it's just me in here, I just put things on a loop, jump in. I've got a little portable vocal booth, and then I run it. It's cool. It's really cool.
Yeah, nice. And tell us a bit about the lyrics as well. How easy do you find it to create the lyrics and put them to the music you've created?
Yeah, I started writing lyrics when I was like, I think I was like 9, and obviously wasn't very good, but I have been doing it for quite a while, and I think that the lyrical side of things people forget about a lot. I think it's very important, and um, yeah, it's quite easy once. I think it's quite easy once I have a topic to talk about because um, I find it hard to just write whatever.
Hmm.
If I ever do, it's a really good day because it'll just come out of me like no matter what. But yeah, when I have a topic to talk about, like for example, On My Way, um, that one was so that was written by me and my best friend from school, who's a really talented writer, and yeah, we kind of came up with this concept. He came up with half of it, I came up with the other half, and we just stitched it together. And once I had like a topic or like a story, the lyrics just fell out. It was just kind of like, what's the most creative way we can tell this story?
Yeah, yeah, nice. And people will want to see you doing some live shows. What's your plan?
Yeah, definitely this year. I mean, definitely gonna do some big shows. So it'd be all over my social media. So if you do want to come check it out, every social media is at Kenzie Voice. I fought for that username. Everything's the same.
Good, good. And people will have first come across you about 5 years ago, 6 years ago now, when you went on The Voice Kids. How much of an impact, either positively or negatively, did it have on where you are today?
Yeah, definitely not negatively. I think it was a great experience for for someone who's like 13. It's like it was insane to have done and to tell the story and um being being sort of praised by people like Jesse J and Will I Am, and yeah, it's very, very sort of cool. And the team on The Voice Kids, at the time I was on it, they were amazing. So I have nothing but good words to say about the TV show. And yeah, there's no other, like, I wouldn't go back and change anything about it. Like, I'm happy where I got up to. I'm happy with whose team I was on. And yeah, I mean, I've always been a big fan of the Black Eyed Peas, so it was really cool to have worked with Will.i.am. And I think On My Way probably subconsciously has a bit of Black Eyed Peas, early Black Eyed Peas influence, like Ella Funk and Monkey Business, all those kinds of albums. But in terms of the voice, I think it was just the greatest experience I could have had as a young musician.
Hmm. Good. Are you still in contact with anyone from the show, and are they still following your music?
Um, as in contestants or just
Oh, anyone from it? Yeah.
the contestants, I mean, I think it was like 2 years and we all stayed in contact. Because we all met up in the final
Hmm.
and we watched the final together. So we did stay in contact for a bit, and from time to time you'll see someone from the show and you'll be like, wow, they're doing really good, and you'll leave a comment, but it's not like consistent contact, but it is nice to talk to someone who's been through that experience, and it's really sort of a nice way to bond. In terms of like coaches and the team, yeah, I haven't spoken to anyone for a while, but it has been, I think it's been like, I don't know how many years now. I think it's been, I'm bad at maths, so like 5 years.
5 or 6, I think it's been since you were on there. So yeah.
And I hope you enjoyed the interview there with Kenzie Vois. Now, this is the part of the show where we like to throw back in time to an interview we did in our early days. Well, we are going to throw back to 2017, where we went to 2000 Trees Festival, where we had a chat with a number of artists, including Young Guns. The Young Guns have finally made a return after a short break, but this is what happened before they took that very break. So, Gus, from Young Guns, how are you?
Good, thank you very much. How are you doing today?
Not too bad, thank you very much.
Good.
So you're here at 2000 Trees?
Yeah, we are. We've played here before.
Yes.
I think it was 2 years ago.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, it was really good fun actually. So I'm quite excited to be here today. We haven't played a show since we finished touring with Lower Than Atlantis, which will be late April probably, around then. So it's been a little while. We're all itching to get back on the stage.
Yeah, definitely. So what have you been doing
been writing actually
Yeah.
for the most time. It's been kind of nice for us to take a break because although we spent that period of time where we weren't really in the UK too much, we actually have been touring pretty consistently for like, I don't know, 8 years now.
Yeah.
So it was kind of nice to have a few months to just relax in a way. We spent about half the week writing and then the rest of the week just kind of doing normal person stuff for a little bit, which was
How does it feel to
lovely.
be doing normal person stuff again?
I'd love to tell you it was nice, and for a short while it is nice, but it very quickly becomes mundane, I suppose. But that's actually kind of nice because I think sometimes it's nice to take a break so you can reflect on it and kind of appreciate it again, and then you get back into it and you're like, oh my god, I'm so glad to be back. And I think we probably needed that. So I think our batteries are recharged and we're pretty excited about getting out there again.
Excellent. So you're gearing up to album number 5?
It will be the 5th. Yeah, we're kind of taking our time with this one.
Yep.
We released we wrote and released the last one as quickly as we could because of that extended period of time we've taken away. And I think this time our feeling is much more that we're just going to do the opposite and take our time on it and see how it progresses, what it sounds like, how it evolves. And personally, I mean, this is it's just pure conjecture, but I'm quite excited or interested in the idea of perhaps not going down the standard band album route. I'd like to consider at least doing something a little more interesting than that. Whether or not that comes to pass is another thing. But I think when you are sitting down writing an album, it's very much you're writing. We've probably got 15, 16 songs at this point, but. I think when you are doing an album, you have to spread your attention and your focus across all of these different songs. And I kind of like the idea of narrowing that focus down a little bit. So I would like to investigate doing something like an EP at first or something like that. But we'll see what the lie of the land is over the next couple of months and go from there. But I'm really excited. The stuff we're writing is something is material that I'm actually really, really excited by. So we'll see.
Is it classic Young Guns or is it branching out into a different field?
I mean, I think with every album we've ever done, we've tried to find a way of making it different to the one before it. But I think I can only speak from my role, but melodically, I feel a lot more confident than I have done in the past. I think we've been doing this a while now, and I think we've been through the mill in positive and negative ways. And I think at this point, I feel very confident and very sure of what I can do and what I can't, and it's really fun to write in that state of mind, and I think that the material we're writing is just very, very strong at the moment, so I look forward to getting it out there.
Brilliant. We're looking forward to it too. So you got any more festivals coming up before you head out on tour?
We have a few, we have a few. We are keeping our summer relatively light because we're writing. We're going to Germany in a week or two, and then we come back. We have a few more festivals here, Fat Lip Fest, stuff like that, which is going to be really good fun. It's going to be great. Going to be really good fun. And then we head out on a little headline tour in September. And then we're probably going to be looking at getting into the studio just after that. So.
Excellent. And who are you off on tour with?
We're doing a headline tour. So I'm really looking forward to that, and we've got a couple of great support acts coming out with us, which I'm really excited about too. Yeah, I can't remember the names of them because I'm really, really bad. I believe. No, you're gonna have to check. I literally have no idea because I'm terrible. I mean, I have to be perfect. To be perfectly honest with you, I have to be clear and say that one of the benefits of being in a band is that you get to remove most of the trappings of having to behave like a responsible adult, and I've fully embraced that lifestyle choice. But what it does mean is that when asked to organise or remember even the slightest detail, I'm often left wanting. But so yes, I think
you get people to tell you where to be and what time.
It's a little bit of a Peter Pan lifestyle, which is a wonderful thing, but again, when it comes to actually having to do things, you do tend to fall on your face a little bit. So all the rest of the boys in the band are smarter than me, but they're currently having some technical issues, so they're all knee-deep in gear, figuring out what's going on.
Yeah, you don't need these tech
No, but I mean, God, they never end. No. So I'm kind of glad that my setup in terms of what I do on stage is very simple. Yeah. It's just a microphone and an audience.
Yeah.
Anything more than that, and I think I'd start to break things.
And your sound check is just talking about breakfast and saying 1, 2 over and over again.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, pretty much. And so, plenty of touring next year, do you reckon? Where do you think you'll be heading out to?
Well, I think that, we obviously have spent quite a lot of time in America over the past couple of years. That's been great fun. Last time we were there, it's been a while. We were there, we did Warped Tour, which is the last thing we did, which was great. But I think we'd like to try and focus on the UK and Europe a little more next time around. I think it does feel like we were away for an awfully long time. And we just went out to Europe. We did some co-headliners with Lower Than Atlantis, and we actually had the biggest crowds that we've ever had out there. And after such an absence, that was really exciting. So I think really the focus is going to be a lot more on the UK and Europe than it was before, and hopefully try and balance that out with getting over to America as much as we can. So.
Fantastic. Well, it's been great having a chat once again. We can't wait for your next EP/album.
We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah,
I'm probably just fucking running my mouth saying things that I'm not allowed to say.
Yeah,
we shall see.
But we'll see. We look forward to it.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you again.
And you, mate. Good to see you.
Thank you very much.
And I hope you enjoyed the interview there with Gus from Young Guns from 2000 Trees Festival 2017. And that's the end of the show for another week, I am afraid. But don't you worry, we will be back with another episode of Interviews Unedited. But in the meantime, check us out on social media at The Sound Lab, yes, on all the socials. And check out the website, thesoundlabuk.co.uk. And we'll be back, same time, same place, next week with a new episode of Interviews Unedited. Goodbye.